All right, you Dynasty degenerates. Welcome to the GSOP Weekly Report. After week one, I am joined tonight by the general manager of the Fridley Timber Goats, Jared Tadych, one of my longest friends. Jared, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well, getting over the week one loss. Looking forward to week two.
Brutal, brutal Derrick Henry performance on you there. Um, but just for Lanners here, I'm drinking a Before I Die by our friends at Surly Brewing. Hashtag not sponsored, but yeah, this is my good luck charm for the Vikings. Wesley is 1-0 as a Vikings fan to start the year. But what are you cracked into tonight?
I got an Arnie Palmer.
Ooh, there you go. So.
Yep, Arnie Palmer light.
Ooh, the classic. I picked one of those up from Kroger on Saturday. I did some early grocery shopping, picked Peyton up a coffee, grabbed myself an Arnie Palmer, and called it a weekend. So, but
Nice, nice.
yeah, dude, great to have you on. Last week we had Matt, who unfortunately went 3 for 6 on his guesses tonight. So hopefully you can do a little bit better. But Wesley went a perfect 6 for 6. So you guys are down three. Got some making up to do. I consulted with the little man. I sent you a Snapchat of him screaming his head off after I took him away from the titties. But he got his picks in for the week, and we'll see if he can keep this lead or not. But let's start with a little week one recap. We had you losing by 1.2 points to Mr. Hoagie Buns, Dan Hogan over there, the Pequot Lake Pipsqueaks with the heroic performance from the one and only King Henry. What how did that Sunday night game feel?
It felt bad, but it was also like it shouldn't have been that close. Jamar Chase had 3.6 points. Nico had 4 points. Like usually he would have blown me away in a different week, and then I just got unlucky with some. Jerome Ford is terrible. I know that now. And then Ridley forgot how to catch the ball. So it's literally just a couple plays here and there. I'm 2-0 instead of 0-2.
Yeah,
But
even Drake London. Drake London had less than 10 points, coming in at 9.5. Kittle went to injured reserve. Debo with the resurrection of his career over in Washington. But yeah, this was your week to get him because Tua had a complete meltdown out down there in Miami too. So that was a little rough, but
yeah, I was happy to have him in week one because usually Burrow and Jamar Chase suck for like the first 4 weeks.
they did.
So I was like, oh,
You had
this is
him.
my chance. And then they sucked, and my team still couldn't beat them. So
Oh, yeah, but it was good to see Drake May had a really good game. He threw a pick, but I mean, the rest of his game was he had a great week this week. So the
yeah, and it was raining, so he was overcoming the elements and still almost threw for 300. So
and
not too mad there.
and his number one receiver and Stephon Diggs only played 20% of the snaps, so that was a little rough. But Brock Purdy getting
Yeah,
hurt. We got a Matt Stafford appearance coming in week two.
yeah. Looks like we're gonna have to fire up Stafford. Let's we'll see. We'll
Uh,
see how that goes. But Jackson Dart's not too far behind, so
I was gonna
probably just
say
have to get through a couple weeks here.
based on the Russell Wilson performance, I see him coming in sooner rather than later before Malik Neighbors quits the team on on the Giants. But yeah, um, but yeah, that was a close game of the week for sure. We had a personally, I had a good performance. Everyone kind of showed up for the squad this week, other than CD dropping some absolute catches. Dude, he could have dropped 30 on Landers this week, unfortunately, but it was enough to get the job done. Won by 14. Pitch Pigeons still beat the median, so they went 1-1. Um, any comments on the squad?
Um, yeah, that CD game was tough. Tough to watch. I was rooting for them because anyone but the Eagles, but that was a brutal like fourth quarter, honestly.
I had a great work day on Friday. I'm not gonna lie, I had a great day at work. So
Yeah, it would be fun to be in that dysfunction, but yeah, from my view, I was like anything but the Eagles.
yeah, if there's anybody like 32 is Packers, 31's Cowboys, 30's Eagles, and then the Saints have unfortunately moved to like 29. But I don't know if I've got over the Bounty Gate program. But
Right.
it
But
seems.
I would say you have the biggest winner of week one in Etienne. So
The boy stepped
yeah,
up.
that week one is gonna do wonders. And now he's got that backfield until they work in Tootin probably middle of the year.
It was so good they traded Tank Bigsby.
Yeah. Yep.
I was so pumped. Like you should not. Like I was so excited when I heard Tank Bigsby got traded. I honestly thought Travis Etienne was gonna get traded to Dallas, and then I'd have to like trade him away off my roster so I could have another Cowboy, like I did with Pickens. But I I was pumped. Could not have been happier with the move of Tank Bigsby. I think Tootin's a good compliment to Etienne. Good 1-2
Yeah.
punch, but
I was kind of on the same page because I was talking to Lanners a lot in the offseason about Tank because I thought they were going to move Etienne. Like you said, I thought it was going to be the other way around, but Etienne's the winner there.
I think Trevor may have been pulling some of the strings behind the scenes there for us. But
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, the Miracle Makers absolutely stomped the Rangers. I mean, Quinn's in full rebuild mode, but Javante had a really good game. Maybe Javante's career is resurrected, but his competition is literally nobody out here. We got Miles Sanders getting goal line carries for Dallas, so I don't know if that says too much about him. But
Yeah. And I'd say, well, Justin's team is like murderers row. That team is so good.
yeah, and I
and he,
mean, he just added a Ted McMillan today. He traded all his. It took 1 week for him to trade his first, second, and third round pick in 2028 to get those.
I will say Isaac got a haul. I'm
Hundred
leaning
percent.
Isaac's way on that trade so far, but we'll see. You never know.
A
But
hundred. Like, listen, Isaac landed an absolute haul for Ted McMillan. I mean, Terrence Ferguson and Torrey Horton coin flips, but on his roster, probably starters. But get an additional first, second, and third for a guy he spent a first round pick on, even if he's got to wait. I mean, his team's a couple years out anyway, so he might as well just wait it out. So, but yeah, I mean, at least Justin invested in a young player with his picks. So
that, that's true. If you're going to trade all your picks every year,
at least get a
you're
young
going to
guy.
have players in return. Yeah, yeah,
um, and then honestly, the surprise of the week, which Wesley had called, Miguel with the Cobras absolutely dog walked Matt with the hash slinging slashers here. Um, we had probably the best performance we'll see this year with Josh Allen throwing for almost 400 yards and 2 touchdowns, and then running two in himself. But it's hard to win when your opponent scores close to 40 points in one position. But the letdown of T.J. Hawkinson and Adam Thielen on Monday night was honestly kind of disappointing. But at least J.J. McCarthy clutched that one out.
yeah. If he would have just got two average games from Hawk and Thielen, he's winning that. That is a tough loss.
Yeah, but dude, Keenan Allen went 7 for 10 with 68 yards and a touchdown. Like the resurrection of Keenan Allen going back with Herbert was huge.
Yeah, yeah. And then you look and like Miguel had AJ Brown for 1.3 and Mark Andrews for 1.5. So he really did need the 40-point game
Yeah, but
from John.
Igbuka stepped up with a 2 touchdown performance. JT put an okay performance in. Gino, I mean, threw a pick, but I mean, threw for almost 400 yards and a touchdown. So, but yeah, no, if AJ Brown scoring 1.3 points for your team, that's a red flag, especially a start on a Thursday night. I was thinking that pick was going to be an L here, but it thankfully turned around for Wesley. But yeah,
I will say one in Tampa Bay the whole year
I
over
honestly
Mike
think
Evans.
so too. He Godwin coming back might take some of the targets away, but Mike Evans, I'm confident he'll probably get 1,000 yards again this year. They'll force feed him 1,000 yards.
Yep, agreed there.
But yeah, and then yeah, that was kind of my surprise of the week. The Rejects clutched it up versus the Horn Dogs. Pretty easy matchup, but I think the Horn Dogs scored their highest amount they did over all of last season. Um, Putting up an 80-point performance. Jalen Warren getting the lion's share of the touches out there. Calvin Austin coming in clutch. Like,
Yeah, I look at his team and I'm never sure what to think because I'm like, Oh, is he building a couple nice under the radar pieces, or is it just who can he move for like another pick in a week or two?
I think it's who can
So
you move for another pick in a week or two.
yep,
Honestly,
yep, exactly. So it's we'll see Warren and Calvin Austin and probably Jaden Reed on a different team here soon.
I'm shocked they haven't been moved yet, honestly. But I mean, we're talking on the pod on Wednesday. By honestly, maybe by Sunday they get moved. So we'll see. But
Yeah, yeah,
good win for the rejects. Jalen Hurts carried the squad. Bucky Irving, good performance. RJ Harvey, a little disappointed, but rookie year. Pickens with the rough start, but Odunze came on. Finally, I mean, Tyler Warren showed out. Cortland Sutton
yep.
showed out. Eckler showed up. Um, but yeah, it was a good performance by them. And honestly, I think the surprise of the week was the Love Boats winning it with the top scorer of the week with 146 points. Jaden Daniels, James Cook, Kamara, even with dude, his top three receivers, Amon-Ra, Waddle, and Josh Palmer, scored less than 20 points combined, and he still
Right.
won the week. Like
Everyone else showed up. Everyone else on his team showed up.
JJ McCarthy decided to show up in the fourth quarter. So yeah,
Yeah, JJ looked good in the second half. That first half was terrible, but
dude, those first three quarters were a little rough, but yeah, it was good to see him kind of overcome adversity. Honestly, seeing him come back after those first three quarters was probably a bigger green flag than if he were to just come out and dominate. Because like seeing him show up when it mattered actually kind of put a little bit of faith in my heart here. But
just watching that game, I was pretty much just saying, the Bears are going to blow it. I
oh
never thought we were out of it, so I
yeah,
was pretty much just waiting on the Bears to blow it.
and they did. Ben Johnson looked a little frustrated on the sidelines after Caleb Williams tried to be Patrick Mahomes and got a intentional groundings. I'm not quite sure why I even threw the ball, but
No, no.
it is a pretty athletic play. I'll give him that, but not not quite sure about how that turned out for the Bears. But yeah, so good week one. Week one's in the books. We got week two coming up here. But yeah, let's look a little bit at the Timber Goats here. A lot of your team is like late round picks, waiver wire ads, dirty third trades for guys who are contributing to the roster. Like, what's your approach when coming to like get players like Tyrone Tracy, Jerome Ford? Um, Obviously, Brock Purdy's probably the biggest green flag on your team. I think Jackson Dart's gonna be a good value for you, late first round pick. But what's your kind of approach with trading these thirds? They've seemed to hit a lot.
With the really late picks or like the undrafted guys, I'm not even usually looking at the player. I'm looking more at like what situation they're going into. So like last year with Jalen Coker, I was like the Carolina's receiving core is terrible. And if they like this guy, they're putting him on the roster. He's going to get a shot. So I'm pretty much looking more at like the situation versus the player. Like there are some players I like where I'm like, I'm going to get that guy, but mostly I'm just looking at the situation of the team and just kind of going from there. And then you got to get lucky after that.
Yeah, obviously
But that
Brock
was
Purdy's a little bit of luck, but Coker, I mean, Coker's if he was on IR, I mean, he's clearly the wide receiver too there. I mean, Xavier Legette seems to be pedestrian at best.
right, right. Yeah, and I think with Purdy, I was like, I've never thought Garoppolo was good, and it didn't seem like they had any faith in Trey Lance. So I was like, oh, I'll just pick this guy up and throw him on the taxi squad and see what happens.
That was a huge, huge hit for you. But
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
my kind of approach to it, whenever I hit on a guy in a third, I try to sell him right away. Like Tank Dell's a perfect example. Like I love Tank Dell. Don't get me wrong. I'm so happy he hit, but like I was so sad to see him go down. Like it was hard for me to move him, but when someone offers you a first for a player you drafted in a third, like that's just immediate sell for me. Like even if like a guy I pick up in Fab, someone offers me a third or a second, like he's gone, gone.
I was gonna say if you get a first for any of the guys you pick in the third or undrafted, you have to take it. If someone offers you the first, you got to take it.
Yeah, like I mean, if obviously the injury for Tank Dell was kind of an outlier for him, but yeah, it was just I couldn't say no. I couldn't say no. But Yeah. After week one, what team that made the playoffs last year you think's not making the cut?
Oh man. Um, I think it's our champ. I just I don't see the depth. So I think he's like one or two injuries away from just completely having to go rebuild.
See, that was my answer too.
Yeah,
Because I mean that looking at his bench, like there's not much there. And if one of his running backs like Kyron or Jacobs goes down, like his backup option, he's rolling Rashad White out.
right,
Like,
right. Now, he could get lucky and his team stays healthy the whole year and he goes into the playoffs like that. But usually in football, you're going to have four to six injuries a year minimum. And I don't know if he can sustain that to any starters.
yeah, that was kind of mine. That or honestly, I was kind of thinking after the Ted McMillan trade, I was gonna say Justin this year, but because if someone goes down, he's kind of in the same situation. But Ted added some depth. I think the Hashling Slashers are probably the team to pick here that might just barely miss the playoffs, unfortunately. But yeah,
Yeah, I think Justin just has a little bit more depth. I think he could sustain a couple injuries and be fine.
Matt can go
Where
buy some depth though with the picks he has
he
left.
could.
Like,
Yep. Yep. I'm just based off right now. But yeah, if he uses his picks to go get players, my answer might change.
yeah, it. I think he's Matt. Matt's kind of just back into football. We all know that Matt during football season it's his main thing, and then as soon as football season's over, it's in the rearview mirror. It's back onto golf. So um, it was nice to have him join to start the season because he had just picked football back up about a week ago. So it's it, listen, we're in a dynasty league, right? And I want people to be active all year long, like I am. I'm just a degenerate that writes 42-page magazines about our league. But listen, when he's into it, and I mean, he's made the playoffs every single year, so it's kind of tough to hate on him. But I think this might be the year where he kind of crashes back down to earth. So, but yeah,
Yeah, we'll see. It's all about health. Fantasy football is all about health.
yeah, and that kind of leads to my next question for you. How are you balancing like loading your team with studs, like the top end guys that you're putting in every week for depth pieces that you're gonna have to like, dude, I don't want to start this guy, but if this guy has to play, I know he's gonna give me like 7 to 10 points.
Yeah, I'm kind of just building depth because my draft picks are not turning into stars, sadly. So I've kind of just gone the route of get as much depth as I can and just be able to weather injuries because I've just snuck into the playoffs the last 2 years just based off the fact of even if I have injuries, my team puts up 120, 130 a week. So kind of had to go that route because none of my top picks have turned into absolute studs yet, besides Gibbs. But like we'll see on Marvin Harrison and some of the other guys I have, but haven't delivered yet.
I mean, Laporta was a steal in the second round, but yeah, Marv had a good week. Let's see if he can keep it up. Even if he didn't catch that touchdown, he would have had a pretty good week with 7 for 9 for 95 yards, or 75 for 6 for 71 yards. Garrett Wilson had the 7 for 9 with 95 and a touchdown. Garrett Wilson, honestly, I think Garrett Wilson's probably in the best spot because like Justin Fields is a 1, 2, and go kind of guy, and Wilson is clearly the first read for every
Yeah.
single pass play.
Yeah, I was talking to Taylor all offseason. He's like, "Oh, you got to get rid of Wilson. He's got Justin Fields now." And I'm like, "You would think that, but DJ Moore had his best year with Justin Fields, and he's like you said, he's a 1-2 read guy, and then he runs. And Garrett Wilson's going to be his first read every time. So
Yeah,
I'm kind of happier about that this year than having Rodgers as his quarterback, to be honest.
I probably couldn't even tell you who the second receiver is on the Jets at this point. So, but yeah, Garrett
I
Wilson.
don't
I
even know.
mean, you got the college connection too. He clearly favored him in college, and Justin Fields is playing for a career here. So I'm rooting for the guy. But Garrett Wilson was a guy I was trying to get all off season, but he was a little too expensive for with a risk that involved Garrett Wilson. But you know what? At least he doesn't have the concussions like Chris Olave, so he's got the upside. But yeah, I got a couple guys that blew up in week one that I kind of want to talk about. We're gonna call this game Smoke or Fire. Um, Smoke if you think it's just this is just a 1 week kind of thing. Fire if you think this dude's like actually legit. I got a few guys from each position group. What position you want to start with?
Do wide receiver first.
Wide receivers. So I'm gonna start this with a guy off your squad, Kayshawn Butte.
That's fire. That's
Fire?
fire. Yep, I think it is. Him and Drake had a good connection last year, and I think there was all this like hype of like Diggs coming in and Demario Douglas is going to be better. I think he likes the outside receivers. I think he likes the deep shots. I'm not saying he's going to explode and go over like 1,000 yards, but I could see 800-900 yards and 6 to 8 touchdowns. I don't believe in Demario Douglas at all. I'm not big in Kyle Williams either, so I'm thinking it's going to be Diggs and Booty most of the year, and then Hunter Henry too. But that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the fence with him. I listen. He was a Devi darling for those guys that are more of a degen than I am that like to play college fantasy football. I mean, he did lead the LSU team that had freshman Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr. on it. I mean, if he wasn't sleeping with some staff, I mean, I'm pretty sure he probably would have stayed another year, but kind of got forced into the league. A little bit of red flag with his like personal life, but the dude can play. So I little
And it never
hesitant.
hurts to be a 5-star recruit, LSU wide receiver. So the talent's there. I think the talent's there, and then he'll just have to put it all together this year.
And this is his third year, and he's only 23. So like, we gotta kind
Right.
of give the guy a benefit of the doubt. The first year he's dealing with an ankle injury, so he played like 5 games, but like those 5 games, he's coming off an injury. Do we really count that as rookie year? Like, it, I think there might. I'm a little hesitant to say it's full fire, but I would say it definitely leans towards fire. Um, I like the guy. I think he could absolutely smash. And like, if he becomes Drake London's number one, especially once Diggs leaves, I mean, I like Drake May. You have Drake May on your roster, so obviously I know you traded 2 firsts to get Drake May, so you like Drake May. But
Yeah.
he could be the dude, and that was an absolute steal for you getting him for basically free. So that was a. I think I kind of agree with you. I'm leaning more towards the fire, but the next guy, I'm definitely going all smoke. Personally, Quentin Johnson.
uh, that's all smoke. The guy can't catch. He had one good game. And he always has a good game early in the year. He did it last year. He was the waiver wire darling in whatever week that was. I think it was like 2 or 3. And then he just like disappears, drops a few balls, and then they bench him. So I think, yeah, I'm definitely going smoke there. I think it's going to be Keenan Allen. Trey Harris will mix in eventually at some point. And then obviously McConkey's the big dog there. So I'm going smoke.
Agreed. How about Debo Samuel? The resurrection of Debo Samuel in Washington after a 20-point performance.
That one's tough. I'm gonna go smoke. I think I think they're trying to get the shiny new toy involved on week one. And I don't think Debo can stay healthy a full year. Just the way he plays, they like run him up the middle. He's gonna be outside. He's all over the field, but he takes a lot of contact. I don't think Debo plays more than 10 games this year. And Terry McLaurin is not gonna have one catch again. So I'm gonna go smoke. He'll probably still have a decent season, but it's not gonna be like that every week.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fire. I think he's gonna have like a solid wide receiver 3 season. I think with the moving of Brian Robinson, that he's gonna like get a lot more carries than I initially expected. Um, I think his versatility for that team gives him a role aside Terry McLaurin. Like, there's yeah, I 100% agree. Terry's gonna get more targets, right? But like
Yeah.
Austin Eckler, I don't think is gonna last the whole season. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt, I mean, he looked good, but Chris Rodriguez was a healthy scratch because they have Debo. So I think he's gonna be a viable flex play. So I think he went from a 0 to something. So I'm gonna say fire just by like I think he's gonna be a good flex play. So uh,
Agreed. Massive upgrade for himself to go from San Fran to Washington. He's going to be much better than he would have been in San Fran. So
I don't
it's
know.
a
I mean,
positive.
there's nobody left in San Fran. So
That's true. Ricky P.
Ricky P. They're I'm shocked the no, I'm not shocked that they're cheering for Brian Robinson. 49ers are putting together the all shot team, unfortunately, but they got to sign Plaxico Burris coming in here. But last one for the wide receivers I got, Calvin Austin. Top 5 performance from him coming from the good old Aaron Rodgers. He had a blow up week for his first time in his career.
Yeah. I guess it's all subjective. I think for him, it's going to be a fire. Like, I think he'll be the number 2, 3 there all year. Rodgers usually spreads the ball around because I don't think DK is going to go off for like 1,600 yards or anything. So I think Calvin Austin's fire for what he should have been. I think he's going to get 800 yards, 4 to 6 touchdowns. I think he'll be right about there. So for him, that's fire.
Yeah, I'm gonna disagree with you. I'm gonna go smoke on Calvin Austin. I think he's more of like an MVS kind of player, personally. So I think he's really kind of just gonna be a boom. Like he's gonna have these boom weeks, and then there's gonna be a week where he has like one catch for 3 yards. Like,
And I think they're definitely a team that could trade for a wide receiver. So if they get someone else, he's definitely going to be smoke. But I'm just going based off if he's the number 2, 3 for the rest of the year.
the dude's got
But they,
wheels. He's got wheels, and he's got better hands than MVS. So maybe I'm selling him short. Maybe I'm wrong here. So, but yeah, I can't see Aaron Rodgers finishing the season personally. But yeah, so that's all I got for receivers. What you gonna do? Quarterbacks, running backs, or tight ends next?
let's do QBs.
QBs. All right, the darling himself, Danny Dimes, Daniel Jones, the absolute obliteration of the Miami Dolphins team, puts up a QB2 performance. What are we thinking?
Oh yeah, this is definitely smoke. But I don't know how much. I think he can be serviceable. I just don't know if they're like done with Anthony Richardson. So if they are completely done with him, I think he could make it through the full year, which would be like great for someone like Hogan to have that quarterback option. But I wouldn't be surprised in 2 weeks if it's Anthony Richardson again. I just don't know what the Colts are doing. But he's not doing that every week, so I'm saying smoke.
Yeah, I'm going smoke too because I feel like the first like 3 interception game we see from Daniel Jones, he's getting pulled mid game. And like we've seen enough of Daniel Jones to know who he is, right? Like
Yeah. Yep.
he I think it's an upgrade for the pass catchers with Anthony Richardson off the field, but like how the Miami team looked horrendous last week. So
That that is part of it. Miami looked terrible.
I don't know if that's gonna hold. So I'm going to smoke too, but yeah, I think he's good. He's definitely like a top 32 QB in the league, but I think he's closer to like 28 to 32 than he is like to 20. So
Yeah, that's the thing. There's just not upside there. So if they just feel like they want to go with Richardson again, I wouldn't be surprised. So
100%. Yeah. Um, all right, the next guy, probably one of my favorite players of all time, Justin Fields. Had an absolute nuclear performance with the Jets. Looks like he's found a new home. We talked about him a little bit already, but do you think he keeps his pace, or is he's fading out?
this is fire, 100%. He just needed a chance. The only thing with me is health. He's going to run a lot. He's probably going to take a lot of hits, way more than most quarterbacks. But he's got a great number 1 receiver, and he's got good running backs in the backfield with him. Like he's going to keep defense honest with Brees and Braylon. So I think it's fire. I think their offense is going to be really good this year. Actually,
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's fire. I think this is like the team that gave him a shot. New coaching staff. took a chance on like I think they understand his limitations as a player and are playing more to his strengths and like trying to force him to be a pocket passer that Nagy tried to make. And I feel like Tomlin just did not care enough to like play to his strengths last season. So it was
And wasn't he like QB6 last year in the weeks he played though too? Even like with the Steelers, and then they
and he
benched him.
went
I think
4
he
and
was,
1 and they benched him
yeah,
for Russell Wilson. Like I
yeah. I think like he was a top end fantasy guy in the weeks he played. I think you stretch that out for the full season for the Jets. I think he's fire.
Yeah, I think if you put him and Brees Hall in the backfield, like running that option, like oh my god, like Brees looked elite. He looked back to his old self last season. I don't know if he was dealing with something towards the end of 2024, but like he looked like his himself again. And like having him and Fields, and then getting Braylon Allen there in there as a thumper, like that run game is scary. And I
Yeah,
think it's
Brees looked lightning quick. He did not look slow like he did last year. So, like you said, definitely could have been an injury there.
yeah, you never know. I mean, he was definitely fighting through something, but the Jets might be on the edge of like actually re-signing Brees rather than everyone was saying that he was getting traded at the end of last season. So I I think it's fire too personally. I mean, I'm a little biased because I'm a huge Justin Fields guy, so we'll see about that. But last guy we talked about a little bit already, but the man I loathe the most in the NFL, Aaron Rodgers. I think this is his last swan song, or I think he actually can take the Steelers to something.
Mm, I'm gonna say I think I'm gonna say fire for a 41-year-old or however the hell old he is.
He is
But
41.
overall, I think smoke is in terms of fantasy. But I don't know. The Steelers always make the playoffs. This offense kind of suits them. It's like a lot of checkdowns or deep balls, which the Jets weren't doing. So I think this offense suits him a lot better. So, and the Steelers are always good. So I don't really know where that puts him. I don't think statistically he's going to be unreal, but they're going to make the playoffs probably. Probably not do anything like they usually do. But I'll say smoke overall, but it's close.
I'm going to smoke just for the amount of ayahuasca and darkness retreats this guy does. So I think he kind of implodes and this becomes a circus probably like week 7 or 8. They're going to lose a couple games in a row. Just I mean that's what happens in the NFL, and he's become a distraction like he always does. And yeah, I mean I can't loathe the player more than I dislike Aaron Rodgers. So it is what it is. But yeah, I don't see him being a viable fantasy asset. The Love Boats have him as their QB4. I think he probably gets shipped off to whoever gets hurt, kind of at the beginning of the season here. Maybe he's a target for the Timber Goats here coming up for 25 fab, but we'll see. Um, how about do you want to
I would
finish?
have the oldest quarterback. I'd have the oldest QBs in the league with him and Stafford, so that could be interesting.
Hey, one of them is probably going to play that week.
True. That's true.
All right, you want to go to the running backs or tight ends?
Let's do tight end.
Tight ends. Okay, so I'm gonna lead this one off just by saying Smoke because I'm pretty sure he's the only healthy tight end they have on their roster. But he also had the tight end one finish this week in Jawan Johnson. What do you think of the Spencer Rattler Jawan Johnson connection down there in New Orleans?
I think I'm saying fire. Just because the QB situation is going to be awful no matter who it is. And it's going to be a lot of checkdowns to the tight end. So they are really weird with their tight ends because randomly they'll put in like Foster Moreau or someone like that and be annoying. But I think he can be pretty good this year just based off the QB situation being so bad and they're not throwing down the field at all. Everything was short, even to Olave and Shaheed. So I'm gonna say fire there. Just much better than he it was expected to be.
Interesting. Like I like Jawan Johnson. I was disappointed he dropped that ball from Rattler in the end zone in that game, but Rattler just strikes me as like a career backup kind of quarterback. Like I think he's
Yep.
accurate enough definitely to be a career backup, but like he just lacks the physical upside to be like an actual starter in the NFL.
Yeah, and then I think like it's eventually going to be Shock, and I don't know how much better that
Oh
is.
God,
So.
please no. The dude's already
Yeah,
older than Trevor Lawrence. Trevor's on his
right.
fifth season.
Right. Yeah. Sadly, there's not even much upside there for them. I don't even understand why you would take him in the second round, but Kellen Moore must have liked him.
They burned that pick. They burned that pick on live TV. But last tight end I got for you, Harold Fannin Jr. had a pretty solid week one for a tight end. Um, but I'm just kind of skeptical on the Browns. We got Joe Flacco. We'll probably have Dylan Gabriel or Shador Sanders here at some point. I think if one of those two steps in, it, I don't even know what to expect if one of those two steps in. I think Sanders is probably the better option of the two, but I don't even know what they're doing out there. Free my boy Stefanski. Get him to an actual organization that doesn't sign sexual predators to $200 million contracts. Honestly,
Like, I agree. I'm going to say fire because I think he's going to do a lot better than a rookie tight end should. But yeah, the QB situation is going to be awful no matter who it is. I don't even think Flacco is going to make it through 8 weeks. So, like you said, it's going to be Gabriel or Shadur at some point, and it's not going to be pretty.
Flacco retired
Which,
what in 2019? That's like 6 years ago, and he's back in the league. Like, what are we talking about
yeah,
here?
yeah. But as a player, I think Fannon's really good. So I'll go fire there.
Yeah, the kid can play, and honestly, they probably move. And Njoku's on the last year of his deal. I think they probably try to move him at the deadline because I don't see them competing for anything. So, but
Yeah, I could see them moving pretty much. I could see them moving Judy too. So it could be he's the last one left at the end. So
prayers up for the boys stuck in Cleveland. It used to be we'll ship your ass to Buffalo if you're a problem, but now it's we'll just ship your ass to Cleveland. Um, but yeah, we'll move on to the last position I got here. I got three guys here. We'll stay with Cleveland actually. Dylan Sampson had a hell of a week last week. Um, definitely dominated over Jerome Ford. What do you think of Dylan Sampson going in?
mm, I'm gonna say smoke. I think once Quinshawn stuff is all done, I think he's gonna be a bell cow there with how bad they are. I think they spent a second round pick on him versus what a fifth for Samson or
Yeah.
sixth or whatever it was. So I think he's he's going to play over Jerome Ford early, but I think the second Quinshon's up to speed, he just goes to getting like 5 touches a game. So I think it's smoke overall.
Yeah, I think he definitely has handcuff value. I'm gonna agree with you. With as soon as Quinchon comes back, I think it's his backfield. He's just a physical specimen. But I mean, the Pipsqueaks make the right choice, drafting him in the third round, grabbing him and Judkins. I mean, no one could predict Judkins' abuse scandal that he has, but I mean, apparently he was in New York today to discuss something with the NFL. So who knows what's going on there? Maybe Dylan Sampson's the league winner this year, pulls a James Robinson on us. Um, but yeah, I mean,
I
seems like a
didn't
much better person than Quinshon Judkins. So
I didn't know Hogan was like a closeted Browns fan. It's like all he took in the draft this year because
I
he's
was
got
gonna say
Shadur.
Judkins, Shador, Sampson, like he's like some one of these guys has to hit.
Yep. Yep. And Samson, good week one at least. So I
I,
guess we'll see what the mess is there in Cleveland the rest of the year.
I would say most Browns fans are closeted at this point with how they've been going, but yeah. So let's move on to probably the talk of the preseason. The boy Bill, aka Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. What do you think of JCM?
Uh, I'm going to say fire here. He's given me Alfred Morris vibes. He's going to be like that sixth round pick that hangs around there for like 4 years, puts up good fantasy stats, and then they just like get rid of him, and then he's done.
Yep.
But for fantasy, for a sixth round pick too, that's fire. So
I was
that's the vibe.
very I was very disappointed I did not get him in our fab auction after the rookie draft. I saw him play at the Shrine Bowl down here in Dallas at Jerry World, and him and Taj Brooks were by far the two best players on the field. Wasn't even close. And so I was like, I'm gonna get both these guys in our dynasty drafts. And unfortunately, I blew more of my fab on Taj Brooks than I was expecting. So the boy Isaac sniped JCM from me, but yeah, I'm gonna say it's fire just by pure opportunity. I don't know how Osneckler holds up throughout this year. And if we see an injury to Eckler or Debo, which is probably more likely than not, I think he's going to just pick up his carries. And if he continue this pace, I think he's going to be a pretty productive back. But yeah, if they move on from him, I think he's kind of just dust, like Alfred Morris. That's a
Yeah, and
great comp.
the history of like 24-year-old running backs isn't great so far in the NFL as rookies. So I guess
Yeah,
we'll
not good.
see.
Not
So
great. I mean, we get Tyrone Tracy had a pretty good season last year. I mean,
yeah,
but when we're playing Dynasty, like we're looking for running backs that are going to produce like 1-2 seasons for us, other than like the studs like Bijan and Gibbs and A Chain and those guys. Like, if we can get a guy that's just going to be a flex play for us, I think it's an absolute win personally. But
oh yeah, yeah. For undrafted free agent, that was an absolute steal. He's going to be productive all year, so that's a win.
yeah, and then the last guy I got for us tonight. Um, I think we already talked about him. I think I already know your answer here, but Travis Etienne with a 143-yard performance.
Yep, that's fire. He was the winner of week one because I think people were still kind of questioning what the backfield was going to be when the week started, and now there's no questions. He had a great week, and now his backup was traded. So I don't think there's anything holding him back there. He's going to be back to what he was 2 years ago. So that's fire.
Yeah, and he's healthy. He looked good, and Trevor clearly likes him. So I think they've spent so much money on Trevor that they can't like be like, hey, we're gonna trade your best friend away. So yeah,
Right.
I think it's fire. I personally was buying him in a lot of leagues this offseason. So clearly I got him for Geno Smith this year. I think that was a good deal. I think the hate on Travis Etienne went way too far. We're really just hyped up Bashaw Tootin, which I think Tootin's got some really good intangibles. I don't know how that's really going to translate to the NFL, but we'll see. But Tank Bigsby was kind of my biggest concern there because they clearly favored Tank last year, and shipping him to Philly was a huge win for ETN. So, but
It's weird. You never know with a new head coach because sometimes they just come in and they want their guy. So that's what I was kind of thinking. Like, are they just going to move Etienne and just go Tootin and put Tank in there randomly? But you never know with a new coach. But it's definitely gonna be Etienne now. So
yeah, I'm hyped about it. Great lock in on the flex. So it'll be a good week. But we're gonna we're gonna finish off with everyone's favorite segment, Wesley's locks of the week. Um, Last week, Wesley went 6 for 6. I consulted with him tonight. I sent Jared a Snapchat of him screaming after I stole him away from the titties to make his picks. So he he's got his locked in. So we'll get Jared's picks in. He's currently up 6-3. Matt unfortunately only came in with a 50% hit rate last week. So Jared, you got some making up to do. So our
yeah,
first
Matt's picks were questionable. So
a little questionable, agreed. I was a little
yeah,
questionable on him, but most Wesley picked the guys he knows, the people he's met in real life. So I led us to the promised land week one. So our first matchup this week, we got the Aussies versus the Slammers. What are you going?
definitely going Aussies here. He's the Slammers is already experiencing injuries, so he's in mid-season form already.
The Kansas City
And
Chiefs have the reverse bounty program going on, where if you hurt your own player, you get a bonus. So Mahomes and
yep,
Kelsey are stacking it.
yeah, and I think your team is pretty much it's pretty damn good. So definitely going Aussies there.
Uh, well, Wesley also took the hometown Aussies. I don't think he's going to go away from his favorite dog in Kashi, so we'll continue that trend. The next week is the grudge match from good old the hash slinging slashers and the miracle makers. Matt first, Justin, who you got?
I'm going Miracle Makers there.
Yep,
Yeah, his team is just it's
it,
pretty stacked.
it's
Pretty
fragile but
stacked.
stacked. His
Yeah.
future is questionable, but he's going for it this season. And hey, you just got to win it. You just got to get there and win it. So the
Oh,
Aussies, the Wesley also took the Miracle Makers. So we're 1 for 1 there. Um, I think the next one's easy. I'm gonna lead this off with Wesley's pick. We got the Pip Squeaks versus the Rangers. He took the Pip Squeaks. Are you gonna take the underdog here?
no, no. If he had two quarterbacks, maybe I'd think about it. And his one quarterback wasn't Flacco. We're going with the pipsqueaks here.
Yeah, we listen, he won back to back and went for the sold out for the three-peat, so he's got his dues paid for the next decade, so I think he can suffer with one season of mediocrity as we all kind of rejoice that the king has fallen. Um,
Oh, yeah, it was definitely worth it. Like if
oh,
you can win two
100%.
chips, dude. Yeah.
Two ships and then still make the playoffs that third year, like listen, it was absolutely worth it for him. Um, all right, the next matchup we got the Timber Goats versus the Copacabana Cobras and Miguel. I think I know who you're taking, but who you taking in this matchup?
I'm going the Timber Goats. Yeah, we just got to hope Josh Allen's under 40. That's that's the hope there.
Yeah,
I think
I
if my
think
team shows up, I think I can beat them.
Wesley did watch Sunday Night Football with me as well as Monday Night Football, so he's going with the Cobras. He saw what Josh Allen does, and he is kind of biased, thinking this dude's probably the best football player of all time. So he did take the Cobras. So this is where we start to fall off the rails. Um, The next one, I think I probably know who you're going, so I'll lead this one off again. We got the Horn Dogs versus the Bitch Pigeons. I think I'm taking the Bitch Pigeons as he's projected over twice the Horn Dogs this week.
Yeah, I'm going with the bitch pigeons as well. And I, Landers, he's improved his team a lot, even just from last year. His team is
Dude,
pretty
his team
damn
is
nice.
scary.
Yeah,
Bijan
yeah. He made the
Genti,
trade for the Pats.
yeah, like his team, like if he does not make the playoffs this year, like half his team had to get hurt. I I don't like. Unfortunately, he had to play me week one, but he still beat the median. He's 1-1. Like he's fine. Like I think he gets a free two this week. Um, and then last game of the week, we got the Love Boats versus the Rejects. This is probably the closest one this week. Um, who are you going with?
Yeah, this is the toughest one. Um, but I'm going with the Love Boats.
Oh,
I'm going
Wesley went with
with
the
the Love
Love Boats
Boats.
too, which is probably kind of biased because it's his uncle Jack playing here. So not quite sure he would have picked anything, but you do have the opportunity to pick up a game here if you can beat the Cobras. You can bring the squad back +1. But yeah, I think it's gonna be a
Yeah,
good week. We got. I'm really I think excited for when the Rangers play the Horn Dogs because then we actually have 4 matchups we can guess, or 5 matchups, and then I honestly, it was great having you on tonight. I think we had a really good episode, a little longer than last week, but aim for 30 to 45 minutes. We're sitting here at 48 minutes, but I think everyone's looking forward to the one of the last pods of the season where Landers and I get blackout drunk and do like a 3-hour podcast for you guys. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, dude.
how many trades? How many trades are going to be made during that podcast?
Oh, dude, between me and Lanners, I don't think any. I've been negotiating with Lanners for months on players. I've tried to trade for probably every single player on his roster outside of like Tyler Algier. So it's been eventful, but I think Lanners and I will for sure get a trade done. I don't know what it's gonna look like, but we'll for sure get at least a garbage trade done. So But any final comments, the squad? Any shit talking you want to do? Like, floor is yours. Finish us off here.
Yeah, I just want to say, I know decent amount about the Vikings. I have never heard of Ben Urasek in my life. So yeah, I was shocked he was on a roster when that trade went down this week. I've never heard of this guy.
He replaced Johnny Munt as the best third tight end in the league. Johnny Munt got a
Okay.
touchdown this week, though. He did catch a touchdown this week for the Jags.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Oh man.
KOC was right. In KOC, we trust. But
Yeah, that's it. Otherwise, good luck in week 2.
yeah, guys. Well, I appreciate everyone listening this long. We're kind of pushing it with 50 minutes this week. Jared, once again, thanks for coming on. I really love that you guys are down to do this with me. I put a lot of effort into the league. I appreciate everyone's commitment, trades, shit talking posts in the group chat. And everything. I hope you guys enjoy this. If anyone has any ideas or wants to bring up topics on their pod, just hit me up. I'm more than open to whatever. But thanks so much for coming tonight, Jared. Thanks for spending an hour with me tonight, and have a great rest of your evening.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Mitch.
All right, see you, everybody. Have a good week.